Most people think getting rich takes time. Years of hard work, slow savings, careful planning, but that's a lie designed to keep you moving at the wrong speed. The truth? Money doesn't reward patience. It rewards velocity. Machiavelli knew this 500 years ago. He watched rulers rise and fall, not based on their wisdom, but on their timing. The one who moved first, struck hardest, and decided fastest always won. While others debated, the bold took the prize. Today, nothing has changed. The rich move at light speed, the poor move in slow motion. And that difference in velocity isn't just about money. It's about mindset, momentum, and the courage to act when everyone else hesitates. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every second you wait, someone else is taking what could have been yours. Every moment you spend thinking it over, another person is already executing. Speed isn't reckless. Hesitation is. If you want to understand why some people explode into wealth while others grind for decades and stay broke, you need to understand Machiavelli's fast wealth code. Because in this game, the slow don't just lose, they become invisible. Today, you're learning the 8 principles of velocity that separate the wealthy from the waiting. These aren't theories. These are the hidden mechanics of how fortunes are built at lightning speed. And once you see them, you can never unsee them. Let's begin. You've been lied to your entire life. They told you good things come to those who wait. That patience is a virtue. That slow and steady wins the race. But look around. Who's actually winning? It's not the patient ones. It's not the careful planners. It's the people who move so fast that by the time you notice them, they've already captured the entire market. Think about every major fortune built in the last 20 years. Tech billionaires, social media moguls, crypto millionaires. None of them followed the slow path. They saw a window, moved instantly, and dominated before anyone else even understood what was happening. Meanwhile, the average person is still preparing, still researching, still waiting for the perfect moment. And that waiting becomes a prison, because perfect moments don't announce themselves. They pass silently while you're busy being cautious. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He wrote that fortune is like a woman. She rewards the aggressive, the young, the bold. Not because they're smarter, but because they move faster. They don't ask permission. They don't seek approval. They see, they decide, they strike. But society trains you to do the opposite. From childhood, you're taught to raise your hand, wait your turn, follow the rules. That conditioning doesn't create success. It creates obedience. And obedient people are predictable. Predictable people are controllable. Controllable people stay poor. The system needs you to move slowly. Because if everyone moved at the speed of the wealthy, the game would collapse. The elite maintain their advantage not through intelligence, but through velocity. They act while you think. They execute while you plan. They win while you prepare. Here's the brutal reality. Speed is not a skill you learn in school. It's a mindset you adopt when you realize that every delay costs you more than any mistake ever could. The wealthy understand this instinctively. The poor learn it too late, if ever. And that's why today, you're breaking free from the slow trap. Because once you understand the principles of velocity, you stop competing on effort and start competing on timing. And timing, when mastered, makes you untouchable. Principle 1. Speed creates scarcity. The first principle Machiavelli would teach you is this: speed creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. When you move fast, you become rare. Most people are slow, predictable, hesitant. They wait for validation, for approval, for certainty. That makes them abundant, and abundance has no power. But the person who acts immediately? They stand out. They're the only one moving while everyone else is frozen. And that rarity gives them control. Think about every market opportunity. Early movers dominate not because they're smarter, but because they're first. First gets the attention, first gets the clients, first gets the capital. Everyone else fights for scraps. Machiavelli would say that the ruler who strikes first controls the narrative. The one who waits must react. and reaction is always weaker than action. In wealth, the same rule applies. The entrepreneur who launches first owns the conversation, the investor who enters early captures the gains, the employee who asks for the raise before others even consider it gets the promotion. Speed doesn't just move you forward, it eliminates competition before it even starts, because by the time others wake up, you've already built a fortress they can't penetrate. Here's the tactical truth. Every time you delay a decision, you're not being careful. You're letting someone faster take your position, and once they're there, you'll spend years trying to catch up. If you ever do. The wealthy know this. That's why they move like lightning, not reckless but decisive. They understand that in the game of wealth, speed is the ultimate competitive advantage. Principle 2. Momentum compounds faster than interest. The second principle, momentum compounds faster than any interest rate ever could. People obsess over compound interest. Save a little, wait decades, and watch it grow. But that's the slow path. And slow paths are for people who can afford to wait. If you're starting with nothing, you don't have decades. You need velocity. Momentum works differently. When you move fast and create results, those results attract more opportunities. Success becomes magnetic. 1 win leads to 2. 2 leads to 5. 5 leads to exponential growth. Machiavelli observed this in warfare. A general who wins one battle quickly gains confidence, troops, and resources. That momentum makes the next battle easier. Victory compounds velocity. The same applies to wealth. A business owner who launches fast and adjusts quickly gains customers, feedback, and reputation. That momentum attracts investors, partners, and talent. Within months, they've built something that would take others years. But the person moving slowly, they're stuck in preparation mode, planning, researching, perfecting. And while they're optimizing version 1, the fast mover is already on version 10, profiting, learning, and dominating. Momentum doesn't care about perfection. It cares about motion. And once you're in motion, the world starts moving with you. Doors open. People notice. Opportunities appear that were invisible when you were standing still. That's why the rich seem lucky. They're not. They're just moving fast enough to collide with opportunities that the slow never encounter. Speed creates momentum. Momentum creates wealth. Wealth creates more speed. It's a loop the patient never enter. Principle 3. Hesitation is the most expensive mistake. The third principle, hesitation costs more than any wrong decision ever will. Most people fear making mistakes, so they freeze, they overthink, they wait for perfect clarity. But while they're waiting, they're bleeding opportunity cost at a rate they'll never recover. Machiavelli would tell you that the ruler who hesitates loses the throne, not because he made a bad decision, but because he made no decision. And in power, as in wealth, indecision is suicide. Think about it practically. You see a business opportunity. You hesitate for a month. In that month, someone else launches, captures the market, and locks you out. Your hesitation didn't save you from failure. It guaranteed it. Or consider an investment. You wait for more research. By the time you're ready, the price has doubled. Your caution didn't protect your money. It cost you a fortune. The wealthy understand that wrong decisions can be corrected. Hesitation cannot. A wrong move teaches you something. Hesitation teaches you nothing except fear. Machiavelli watched leaders who acted boldly, made mistakes, adjusted, and conquered. And he watched cautious leaders who avoided mistakes so carefully that they lost everything to those willing to risk. Here's the principle in action. Make the decision fast. If it's wrong, you'll know quickly and can pivot. But if you wait, the opportunity vanishes, and you'll never know what you missed. The cost of a mistake is temporary. The cost of hesitation is permanent. And that's why the rich move fast and fix later. The poor wait and regret forever. Principle 4. The market rewards first movers, not best movers. The fourth principle, the market doesn't reward the best. It rewards the first. Most people waste time trying to build the perfect product, the perfect plan, the perfect pitch. But perfection is a trap. Because while you're perfecting, someone else is launching. And the market doesn't care about perfect. It cares about present. The company that launches first captures attention, builds a brand, and creates loyalty. By the time the better version arrives, it's too late. The market has already chosen. Machiavelli would say that the general who arrives first to the battlefield chooses the terrain. The general who arrives late must fight on someone else's terms. In wealth, the same rule applies. The entrepreneur who launches an imperfect product but moves fast can iterate based on real feedback. The one who waits to perfect everything launches into a market that's already moved on. Look at every major tech company. None of them launched perfect. Facebook was a mess at first. Amazon was clunky. Tesla had endless issues. But they moved fast, learned fast, and dominated fast. Meanwhile, their competitors were polishing, perfecting, and preparing. And by the time they were ready, the game was over. The first movers owned the market. Here's the brutal truth. If you're waiting to be perfect, you're guaranteeing irrelevance. Because perfect never comes. But launched, adjusted, and iterated, that's a formula for domination. The wealthy don't wait for perfect. They launch now and make it perfect later. And that speed gives them a monopoly the careful will never break. Principle 5. Speed multiplies leverage. The fifth principle, speed multiplies leverage, and leverage multiplies wealth. Leverage is using small effort to create massive results. But leverage without speed is useless. You can have all the tools, connections, and capital in the world, but if you move slowly, someone faster will use their leverage first and lock you out. Machiavelli understood that power comes from using others, soldiers, alliances, resources, but the ruler who mobilizes those forces first wins. The one who waits loses the advantage, even if his army is larger. In wealth, leverage looks like this: partnerships, investors, employees, systems. But if you spend months negotiating the perfect deal, someone else closes a good deal and uses that momentum to build an empire. Speed turns small leverage into exponential results. A quick partnership becomes 10 more. A fast product launch creates cash flow that funds the next 3. A decisive hire attracts top talent who bring their networks. But the slow mover? They optimize every detail, negotiate every clause, perfect every contract. And while they're doing that, the fast mover has already scaled beyond their reach. Here's the tactical edge. Use speed to stack leverage faster than anyone else. Don't wait for perfect terms. Close the deal, use the leverage, and move to the next one. Because leverage compounds, but only when it's in motion. The wealthy use leverage at velocity. They stack partnerships, capital, and systems so fast that by the time competitors understand what's happening, it's irreversible. Speed without leverage is chaos. Leverage without speed is wasted. But speed plus leverage, that's unstoppable. Principle 6. Fast failure is faster learning. The sixth principle. Fast failure leads to fast learning, and fast learning leads to fast wealth. The poor avoid failure at all costs, so they move slowly, cautiously, minimizing risk. And in doing so, they minimize growth. Because growth comes from feedback, and feedback comes from action. The rich understand that failure is data. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you succeed. It's a loop the cautious never enter. Machiavelli would tell you that the leader who never risks defeat never wins great victories. The ruler who protects his position too carefully loses it to someone bolder. In wealth, the same principle applies. An entrepreneur who launches 10 businesses and fails at 9 learns more than someone who spends 10 years perfecting one idea. Because those 9 failures taught speed, resilience, and market reality. And the 10th attempt? It dominates. Meanwhile, the perfectionist is still planning their first move. They avoided failure, but they also avoided learning. And without learning, they're stuck. Here's the mindset shift. Stop seeing failure as loss. See it as tuition. The faster you pay tuition, the faster you graduate. The faster you graduate, the faster you earn. The wealthy fail constantly, but they fail fast, extract the lesson, and move to the next play. That velocity of failure creates velocity of success. Because while others are avoiding mistakes, they're making 10, learning from all of them, and using that knowledge to build empires. Failure isn't the enemy. Slowness is, because slow failure teaches you nothing. Fast failure teaches you everything. Principle 7. Decision speed determines income speed. The 7th principle, the speed of your decisions determines the speed of your income. Most people agonize over choices. Should I start this business? Should I make this investment? Should I take this opportunity? They research, consult, delay. And while they're deciding, the opportunity expires. The wealthy decide in minutes what others debate for months. Not because they're reckless, but because they trust their ability to adjust if they're wrong. They know that a fast decision with course correction beats a slow decision that arrives too late. Machiavelli observed that rulers who made swift decisions, even imperfect ones, maintained control. Those who hesitated lost power to those who acted. In wealth, the principle is identical. A fast yes captures the deal. A fast no frees your time for better opportunities. A fast decision creates momentum. A slow decision creates stagnation. Here's the framework. Gather the minimum information needed, make the call, and move. If you're right, you win fast. If you're wrong, you learn fast and pivot. Either way, you're ahead of the person still thinking about it. The market rewards decisiveness. Clients trust people who move quickly. Investors back entrepreneurs who execute without endless deliberation. Employers promote those who make calls and take responsibility. Your income is directly tied to your decision speed. Slow decisions mean slow results. Fast decisions mean fast results. And fast results compound into wealth, while slow results compound into regret. The wealthy don't have better information. They just decide faster. And that speed is the difference between wealth and waiting. Principle 8. Velocity creates visibility. The 8th and final principle, velocity creates visibility, and visibility creates wealth. In a world of noise, the only way to be seen is to move. Fast, consistently, relentlessly. The person who acts once and waits is invisible. The person who acts repeatedly becomes unavoidable. Machiavelli knew that rulers who acted decisively, often and publicly, became legendary. Those who ruled quietly were forgotten. Visibility isn't vanity. It's strategy. In wealth, this means the entrepreneur who launches fast, posts consistently, and iterates publicly builds a brand. The one who works in silence remains unknown. And unknown means unpaid. Think about influencers, founders, investors. They're not necessarily the best, but they're the fastest and most visible. They move, they share, they execute. And that velocity makes them impossible to ignore. Speed creates content. Content creates attention. Attention creates opportunity. Opportunity creates wealth. It's a direct chain, and it starts with velocity. But the slow mover, they're invisible. They're working hard in private, perfecting their craft. But nobody sees them. And what isn't seen can't be valued, bought, or invested in. Here's the brutal truth. Talent without visibility is worthless. Visibility without talent is temporary. But talent plus visibility plus speed? That's a formula for domination. The wealthy understand that speed makes you visible. Visibility makes you valuable. And value makes you rich. It's not about showing off, it's about showing up. Fast, often, and without apology. Velocity isn't just a wealth strategy, it's the wealth strategy. Now that you understand these 8 principles, the question is simple. What are you going to do with them? You can keep moving slowly. Keep waiting for perfect timing. Keep preparing endlessly. And you'll get the same results you've always gotten. Slow growth, if any. Invisible progress. A lifetime spent wondering why others passed you. Or you can adopt velocity. Start moving faster than you're comfortable with. Make decisions before you feel ready. Launch before it's perfect. Fail fast, learn fast, and adjust fast. Here's your immediate action plan. Pick one opportunity you've been delaying, something you've been thinking about for weeks or months, and move on it today. Not tomorrow. Today. Make the call, send the message, launch the product, start the business, take the meeting. Whatever it is, do it now. Because every hour you wait is another hour someone faster is taking what could have been yours. Speed isn't reckless when it's intentional. It's strategic. It's Machiavellian. It's how empires are built. Machiavelli would tell you that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without speed is just posturing. Real boldness is decisive action at maximum velocity, and that's what creates wealth. The choice is yours. Stay slow and stay small, or move fast and become unstoppable. Money doesn't love patience, it loves speed. And now you know why. If this resonated, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more Machiavellian strategies the world doesn't want you to know, and share this video with someone who's been moving too slowly. Drop a comment below. Which principle hit you hardest? And what decision are you making today that you've been delaying? Remember, in the game of wealth, the slow don't just lose, they disappear. Move fast, strike hard, and let velocity carry you to places hesitation never will. The world belongs to the swift. Make sure that's you.